Hi everyone, it's Shar and welcome back to my channel, and hopefully you're seeing this video on time, which means I'm back to uploading at least 2 to 3 times a week. So today we are doing a renovation of 17 Culpepper House, and this is one of the few houses where I use almost everything custom content. Now wallpaper and stuff like that I don't use, but I had a vision for this and it was going to be very industrial and grungy because this apartment is for our Black Widow. I imagine neon signs, lots of purples. Fortunately with apartments you can't touch the windows, so you see I'm trying to place this light and struggling to do so just because I had an idea of where I wanted it to go and that was not going to work, but in the end we come up with something that is absolutely beautiful. Now with the Widow Challenge there's no rules about like where you can move, where you can live. You can live with your husbands, the people that you end up murdering, or you can live in your own place. I think to start with, because our storyline is that Alyssa something, she is not our Black Widow to start with. She is our Black Widow, but she's not a Black Widow to start with. Her intention is not to murder people. She's just here living her life. In fact, the vision I have for her is that she is a courtesan in this lifetime. BB that move on. So I'm doing this kitchen here, and you could say it's kind of cheaty because we're not allowed to cheat the money, and all of these cabinets are custom content, which means they're like $1 each, or a simoleon each rather. But I'm not going to say it's cheating. It's in the game. I have it. It works well, so we're going to go ahead and use that for our Black Widow challenge. I'm super excited to get started, but I'm still getting some mods for the game because I have to play Legacy Edition of the game, as you hear me complain about every single week, which means I don't have the gallery, which is unfortunate because I would love to incorporate you all into the challenge and have you upload potential husbands, potential people to kill, friend groups, places to hang out, like all that stuff I would love to get, but I cannot get that. I have to download from the tray, and even then I'm not allowed to download anything that was made beyond November 2019, I think. Whenever University came out is when we got Legacy Edition for anyone who plays on older PCs. The good news is that I have it within my ability to purchase a new laptop for myself within the next month or so. So by the time we're only like 3 episodes into this, we should have a new laptop, which means I should have the gallery back. So in that time, I should think of a hashtag for you all to use if you want to upload some characters or lots and you want to see it on the series. But I'm super excited to get started. I love playing The Sims. I've vlogged thousands of hours in the 1.5 years that I have been playing it, but I'm very excited because these challenges just add new fun ways to play and just incorporate a different dynamic and take some of the pressure off of creating storylines. I can create stories, but the show can go on without me creating a specific story for that episode, so I'm very excited for that. And overall, I love this apartment and how it turns out. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's not my personal aesthetic because I wouldn't live somewhere that dark, but I think it fits our Black Widow absolutely beautifully because she is, I wouldn't say grungy or like industrial. She's very edgy is what I would say. She is very much about her life, doing what she wants to do. She likes dark colors, she likes purples, so it's gonna be a really fun place. In fact, I imagine that the first husband that she marries probably doesn't have a ton of money and he moves in with her. She very much marries for love the first time around, but as we both know, if you saw the creative sim for this challenge, she has commitment issues. She does not officially have a non-committal trait, but she does have commitment issues, and she's repressing that because she's been conditioned all her life to believe that she should have a husband and her aspiration is to get married, and she subscribes to that subconsciously, and so she seeks out these long-term relationships and is constantly wondering, why is this not working for me? But you're gonna see me build. I try to squeeze in a desk here and a computer. This is the most cheaty bit because that is a functional Apple Mac laptop and it costs 1 simoleon. In what world, girl? Because I tell you, I went to Home Depot today and a refrigerator costs a lot less than an Apple MacBook. So that's what I am doing. Obviously, well, you know what I'm doing. We're doing a speed build here. So just continue to watch me build and I'll tell you about this fun movie that I saw earlier. So you all know the Sci-Fi Channel. we had to stop watching cable really because Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and all the other streaming services that allows us to watch TV without commercials. But I did start to watch this show on Sci-Fi, or this movie on Sci-Fi called Kukui, and I really, really liked it. Like, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did enjoy it, but I did. But if you're ever bored and you want to watch cheesy Halloween movies, this is something that I really do recommend. I think it's a lot of fun, and I personally thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't expect something spectacular. It's still a movie on Sci-Fi, but for a Sci-Fi movie, it's pretty good. We're moving on to the bathroom here, and I do go back and change the wallpaper from that ugly bright yellow because this is a renovated apartment. So you see, I didn't change any of the layout. I just changed some of the things, exposed the brick wall, and made it a little bit more up to date. But now I'm doing the fun part, which is just adding little bits of decoration. Now, I would say our main character, our Black Widow, does have fairly simple taste. So she wouldn't decorate super heavily, but the home does need to look lived in. It's a place that she feels very proud of. It's probably the first place she moves in on her own. And like a lot of the characters in our series, she does not really have family or a backstory. We'll get introduced to some people later on, unlike in my Not So Berry challenge, where we will never really meet Aubrey's family or hear her backstory. But one day I'll reveal that, and that will be very exciting. But actually, we're coming to the end of Aubrey's story. So she's about halfway through her generation. She's the Mint generation, which is the first generation of the Mint, the Not So Berry challenge. So she is halfway through. Her daughter just aged up into a child, and she'll be aging up into a teen soon, and we're just working on completing her aspiration. Honestly, it's pretty hard because I'm playing base game, and not base game, I don't have the scientist career because I don't have get to work, which means it's really, really hard to find crystals. But we are making some progress. We're getting shit done, and she will eventually finish that out. But you can see I use mostly custom content, and I do have a terrible habit of going back in and deleting all of my CC, especially my build CC. So finger crossed that I do not do that for this, because the apartment does still need to be there for our challenge, obviously, because we're going to play something really interesting, okay? So she's going to be a courtesan. You can consider her a sex worker. I'm probably going to get the Hoe It Up mod. I want her to do things for money. We'll see how far she goes with it, but she's just this very seductive woman who draws attention to herself very easily, not just because of her looks, but more so because of her essence and how she shows up. To quote Megan the Stallion here, Big D stands for big demeanor, so that is definitely her and her energy, and I'll be excited. I'm still placing some characters around the world for her to run into, for her to meet, giving them some storylines, but not going too in depth, because the only reason you would ever really need to know their storyline is if she actually encounters them and they become one of our first victims. But of course, as we know, Elise, I'm going to say her name is Elise does not have an intention to murder her husband, but we do know that is where it's going to end up going. But we'll call it manslaughter, and it'll be fun to see how he actually dies. And for the first time ever, I actually put curtains up in a build, because listen, I feel uncomfortable with her living in a city across from these really tall buildings that can see directly into her apartment. But we're coming to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to leave me a comment, a like, and to subscribe, and let me know if you're excited for the Black Widow challenge to start. Alright, bye everyone!